Hey y'all, welcome back. I wanted to make a quick video to kind of show you the process of replacing the skin on your roof. This is the one that I just did a couple weeks ago, um, and I'm a part of some like RV renovation groups on Facebook. And when I was scrolling through today, it was shocking to me how many people just reseal and reseal and reseal and then reseal again and then reseal again the roofs that really should have been replaced like 10 years ago. So decided to make this video in case there's somebody out there that really wants to replace the skin but they don't really know how to do it. This is going to be a good kind of step-by-step introduction to kind of show you what all is involved in it. The first thing is first, you're going to want to take your awning off. I'm not going to show you how to do that just because it's very camper specific. Some are manual, some are electric, some are big, some are small. So that's really going to be something you're going to want to Google and find a video of somebody else who's done it. It's not hard to take it off. Really, the hardest part is just unwinding it before you take it off, because if not, it'll just spin out and just, I don't know, sometimes if it's an older awning, it can break the springs in it. So just keep an eye out for that. So after you've taken your awning off, I usually come up to the roof and I start taking all of the vents off. And let me show you the different types of vents we have up here. Sorry about my trash pile. So you have an antenna there and an antenna back there. Basically, you just kind of remove the self-leveling sealant, and you can just take the screws out. There's probably maybe 10 in there. There's 3 on that smaller one over there. Then you have the AC unit. That's also going to have to come off. If you don't want to clean it, technically you don't have to take it off the whole roof, but I usually do. My dad actually specializes in HVAC, and so he gives me the really good coil cleaner that just kind of cleans it really well, and I just kind of look it over before I put it back. So that's going to want to be another thing. You're probably going to want to look up the model of your AC unit to see how to take that off, because they are all different. Let's go over here. This one is your RV refrigerator vent cover. Ooh, the sun's right in my face here. So this is actually in 2 parts. This is the cover, and then underneath it there's a vent base. I would suggest replacing both of those because one may not fit the other, and it's really not worth the extra $20 to have one not fit. So I would recommend replacing both of those. And then over here, you are going to have these 2 right here are vents. Plumbing vents, and so you might have maybe 2 or 3 of those depending on your camper. This is a shower dome right there. Most of them are around that size, but if you have a 5th wheel or just one that's got like a corner shower, it may be a little different, so just check for that. This one right here is just a fan vent. This one is made for a bathroom, so it's got a 12-volt power cord to it with a fan. But they also make them just like standard 12-volt ones. I mean, not 12 volts, sorry, just standard ones without the 12 volts. That usually go like in the front or in the middle of the camper. Totally useless. I don't like those. So if I'm rebuilding a roof, I typically just leave all those out because they just let in heat and it's very annoying and I don't like them. So definitely need the bathroom one. The other ones you don't really need. So anyway, so after you have all of those off, I usually take off the side rails. Let me walk up here. Oh, it's so bright. So your side rails are going to be on both sides of your camper, which I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. And then you have the ones on the front, and then there's usually one on the back. So all 4 sides are going to have kind of the trim pieces that keep everything together. You're going to want to take all of that off. It's probably held on by like a plastic screw cover. So just peel that off, take the screws off, and they'll all just come out. You'll probably have to scrape off some of the caulking, some of the sealant, just the white stuff. You're going to have to scrape some of that away in order to kind of get it off. On the front and the back, maybe the back, maybe not the back. It depends on the camper. But the sides, you just peel the trim away, the plastic trim. Don't worry about breaking it because you're going to replace it anyway. So just take that off, and you take the screws out, and that'll come off. Now the sides, depending on the size of your camper, you're probably going to have 4 pieces for the side trim. So just kind of keep track of what piece went to where. Write on with a Sharpie, label them, you know, left front, left back. You get the gist. So I think after that, I'm trying to think in my head, I've done this so many times, it's like I do it without even thinking about it. Everything should be off the camper, and then you're ready to take the skin off. I usually start in the front and then point you down so you can kind of see my hands. You can work in halves or thirds depending on how strong you are, but just get a knife and just start cutting it, and then just peeling it back, and work it sections at a time, because it really is, I mean, it's glued on there. So you're going to just want to start in sections and work your way all the way towards the back. So after you have taken all of the skin off, look around your roof for any water damage. Anything that's soft needs to be replaced. I would highly suggest replacing it in sheets. So if you look at your camper, most likely there's going to start from the front and work its way back, maybe vice versa, but there's going to be full 4 feet, full 4 feet, full 4 feet, and then maybe like a partial sheet. So if you have a section, say your front corner is rotten, take the whole 4 foot sheet off. And you can see over here, right, ooh, where's my finger? Ooh, there. Those are the 4 foot sections I took off of this camper. So they will come off all in one sheet. They're usually just nailed down, so just be careful, especially if you have rotten wood. Try not to fall through your roof. It's never a good thing. So take it off, kind of look at what is underneath it. Look at your trusses if you don't know how to build a truss. And if it's an okay shape, like not totally crumbled, sometimes you can add a support on both sides to the truss and just screw it in really good from each side. So keep an eye out for that. And then, you know, if you do have to replace a truss, make sure to keep an eye out on your wiring, because you don't want to get any wires pinched in there either. So after you have checked and made sure that's all good, you are ready to put your skin on. I did make a video of me putting the PVC skin on this camper. So if you want to go watch that, if you're a visual learner, go check that out. That's on my channel. I used PVC roof for this one. It's got a 15-year warranty, which is really cool, and you don't ever have to reseal it, which is a plus. And if you get like a scrape or something like that, you take the extra that you're going to have, you'll have extra PVC left over, and you can make an actual patch for it, which is really cool. And it's just, I've just heard really good things about it, and I just started using it, so I like it a lot. So put your skin on, get all that, and then a little bit of a switch up. I like to put the side rails back on first, just because you're going to have a lot of the rub or the roof material hanging off the sides. So put the side rails back on. Make sure to put butyl tape underneath it. Your kit should come with butyl tape and some self-leveling sealant. I would definitely recommend ordering at least 4 more tubes of the sealant, because I like to overseal just to be on the safe side. So typically I use 1 tube per vent, so that'll give you kind of an estimate on how much you think you might need, plus maybe 1 more tube per side of the camper. So that's 4 tubes just for the side rails and the front and back alone. So keep that in mind. Get your side rails on, and then you can start putting all your vents back on. Now, I usually get a knife and corner to corner on my vents, cut, and then let me put my hands up here. Okay, so say you have a square, corner to corner cut, and then you cut from here, and then you cut from here, and they'll all fall in. And then I have some like 1/4-inch staples where I either cut the trim or fold it up and staple it to the wood on the inside. That way you don't have your extra skin flapping around. And then you can put your new vents on. Always put butyl tape underneath it. Like I said, the kit should come with plenty of it, so put it around the underneath inside. Stick your vent on, and then put your screws on. Then you get your self-leveling sealant, and you coat it all around. Coat all the screws, and pretty much just make sure it's all covered. So after that, you can put your AC unit back on. If you didn't take it off, that's fine. If you did take it off and clean it, that's wonderful. Definitely recommend getting a new AC gasket. They're about 20 bucks on Amazon. Camco sells them. You're going to want that. Scrape the old gasket off and clean it really good, and then put the new one back on, and then you can put your AC unit back on top. So after that, you are ready to put your awning back on, and that's pretty much it. I know it sounds like a lot, and it is, but I promise you it's worth it in the long run. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen that people just reseal roofs, and I feel like for me, a camper is such a big investment, and it just doesn't make any sense to me why, if you think you have the skills and the capability to replace it yourself, that you don't. Because, I mean, I paid a lot of money for my camper. I mean, maybe what I paid for my camper doesn't seem like a lot of money to some people, but it's a lot of money to me. And like even these campers that I do, I mean, it's a big investment for me, and I think it's a big investment for you guys. And so if you're going to pay, 20, 25 grand for a camper, I think it better well have a new roof. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to pay a price that you could go get a new camper for that. So I think that it should be up to that quality. And so that's also a note. If somebody's selling you a renovated camper that's old, like, 2004, 5, 6, like that era, and they haven't replaced the roof, just be cautious, because it's way past due. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and hopefully you found it helpful and I didn't just ramble too much. So and hopefully you can hear me this time. I got my mic. You can't see it because my shirt's black, but anyway, I'm pretty excited about my mic. So hope y'all have a good afternoon. Bye.